Good day. My name is Unatili Kuleni, and I am a third year media student at Boston Media House. Today, I'll be taking you through my 80-hour internship. We're going to start off by defining what experiential learning is. Experiential learning is a learning process through which people gain knowledge, skills, understanding by directly experiencing and reflecting on those experiences. Instead of just passively receiving information like in traditional classroom lectures, learners actively engage with the real world tasks, challenges, or activities. This hands on approach helps deepen understanding by connecting theory with practice. I'm going to tell you which company I chose and why I chose it. So I did two companies. I did Night Owl Media and I interned for 20 hours there, and I did Hatfield Christian Church and I did 60 hours. In my 20-hour internship, it was short-lived, but it was great. I learned a lot with Taryn and Chris, may God rest his soul. And I did quite learn a lot within the television field, whereby as videographers, we are exposed to a lot of things in the industry, and it's a very competitive industry, to be exact, because Taryn did express that as a woman, it's not easy to get gigs because they don't believe that we know how to do our jobs well enough. So, as a woman being in a male dominated industry, you should be confident about your work and you should be able to believe and trust that you can do anything it takes, and you have to do anything it takes to show them that just because you're a woman doesn't mean you cannot do it. And at Hatfield Christian Church, I was exposed to a lot more in terms of equipment, sound, even the people. I was exposed to a great community of people, a larger community of people at hand. And it was a great working environment for me because, firstly, I'm Christian, it's a Christian environment. So, not only did it help me grow in my workspace, but it also helped me grow spiritually. I was taught how sound works in film, I was taught how sound can be intertwined into film, and how different cameras work, because I was taught how to use the mirrorless camera. I used a DSLR and I used a big Canon camera. I think I'm gonna have to go back and research the name, but I will come back with that. And I'll be providing evidence to show the different cameras that I used, of which I have visuals of. The highlight of my experience has to be being exposed to things that I was not always exposed to, things that I only see on screen, things such as being in a control room. You know, it has a lot of aspects. There's a lot to learn from a control room. It could actually blow your mind, considering that different companies have different control rooms. So learning the basics of what they had, Hatfield Christian Church had in their control room, to me it was actually something great. It was the most exciting part of my experiment, you know, seeing how they do things, seeing how they operate their control room, and seeing how they are able to connect their cameras and, you know, the cameras to the control room being in different places. So for me that was just mind-blowing, because I had always wondered how it's done, and I got to learn it. Now, if there's something that really surprised me there, was having my own office. Because if anything, I just thought I'd had to shadow from within the mentor's office and share a desk with them or the likes of that. But actually, I had my own office. I had my own devices that I was given for that time being, you know. So that was something that really surprised me, because it made me feel like I'm actually at work. It made me feel very independent, because it felt like, you know, now I am actually within the industry and not just a student anymore. The best advice that I received was actually told me that I shouldn't always be focused on working for companies, but you should be open to working on cruise ships, be open to freelancing, you know, be open to doing your own thing, because if you're gonna wait to be hired by somebody else, it actually might take you a while before you actually get the job. Hence, it is important to network and to market yourself, because then it's easier to do things for yourself. You know, you don't necessarily have to be under a company to actually make money. You can do it all by yourself. It doesn't take that much work. If there's something that I enjoyed the most, firstly working with Night Owl Media was every day that we worked, or we had that school concert, or for the time being that I was there, we were provided foods. I got to try new foods that I never had eaten before, like the likes of what you call it, biltong soup. I never thought that existed, but it was actually really good. And then the likes of Hatfield Christian Church, Hatfield Christian Church had such a big community of very friendly people. You always felt like you were at home. You always felt comfortable. They made sure that you feel that way. So it was something that I really enjoyed, because there was never a time where I felt like, I don't want to be here, or I felt anxiety, because everybody is just there for you. Everybody is just a ball of happiness. This experience has had an impact, or it influenced my thinking in more positive ways, and some a bit negative. More positive in being, I believe that I can do anything I put my mind to, and negative being that during my internship, I did learn that I'm most likely not going to get a job, or I'm most likely going to be less recommended, because I'm a female in a male dominated industry. So they would not believe that I have the capabilities, or I'm capable enough to do the job to their standard. So it did kind of have an impact on my thinking in this career, thinking that maybe I could have chosen the wrong career space. But I believe that I can do anything that I put my mind to, and I believe that there is no one that's going to stop me from getting what I want, and there's no one that can set me aside from my goals. It is quite important to market yourself out there, and how you market yourself out there is also quite important, because you need to be firm, you need to be active, because it is a media industry. So you do have to market yourself, you do need to network, you do need to attend all those events, even if you don't feel like it's necessary, but you always meet the right people there that will connect you and expose you to all the right industries, or could actually potentially connect you to your dream job, or where you're actually supposed to land, something that could potentially change your entire career. So you should always be open to um to attending these events, these seminars, no matter what it's about. Yeah, that is what I can share for now. Thank you. Until next time.